Recently, Tradeify has switched things up. In the past, Tradeify had 3 different account types. Now they have narrowed it down to only 2 account types. We have what's called the Lightning Funded account and the growth accounts. And with Tradeify's current sale going on, where you can save 40% across all these accounts, use promo code Mike at checkout. You're probably wondering, what are the rules with the Tradeify accounts? Well, I'm glad that you asked. If we come right up here to where it says the help center, it'll bring us right back here. Now we can go ahead and look at account rules. Now this could vary. It could be the Lightning Funded accounts if you still have some of the grandfathered accounts in from the past, the advanced accounts, or the growth accounts. If you're purchasing a new account with the current discount, it's either going to be the growth account or it's going to be the Lightning Funded accounts. Well, let's take a look at some of these rules real quick. And again, these accounts have very similar rules. One of the rules that changes drastically is the consistency rule. With the consistency rule, it's very simple to understand. The growth and advanced counts have a 35% consistency rule. So when you go to request your payout, don't let any one of those days be more than 35% of the total profit in the account. Now, if you're trading the Lightning Funded accounts, be mindful. The consistency rule for the first payout is 20%. Second payout, they bump it up a little bit to 25%. In the third payout, they bump it up to 30%. And I'm glad I'm actually going over this right now because I forgot all about that. However, in the growth account, it's always going to be a 35% consistency rule. Now, if we look at the trailing drawdown, I do like the trailing drawdown that Tradeify enacts, and that is going to be an end of the day trailing drawdown in both the growth accounts or in the Lightning Funded accounts. And you can see right here, if you're ever looking for a prop firm, the easiest type of drawdown, and again, trading is not easy, but when we're talking about an intraday trailing drawdown or an end of the day trailing drawdown, end of the day is always going to be easier because it only updates at the end of the day. If you're looking at an intraday trailing drawdown, it actually goes up as your open equity goes up, meaning it's not on realized profits, it's on account equity highs intra trade. Now, if we look at the daily loss limit, some prop firms, they'll bust you out if you hit what's called your daily loss limit. Well, in Tradeify, it's basically going to be a soft breach. So if we come down here and we look at some of these accounts in the growth account, we have a $1,250 daily loss limit. If you look at the Lightning Funded account for that same 50K account, it's also a $1,250 soft breach, meaning if you hit it, you're locked out for the day. And again, as traders, we hate to be locked out, but I can't tell you how many traders I've talked to in the past, myself included, where I've hit the daily loss limit. I've been around to fight another day, and I've been able to salvage that account, keep it around for a little bit longer. Now we come over and look at the next one real quick, and you want to pay close attention to this: hedging and trading micros and minis. So if we click on that real quick, basically what this goes on to say, just a short version, we are not allowed to trade the ES and the MES at the same time. We have to pick one. They don't care if you want to trade the mini or the micro, just pick one. Also, you can't be long an ES contract and short an ES contract, meaning you're hedging 2 of your accounts different from one another. With Tradeify, we're allowed to have 5 funded accounts. So technically you could be long in one account and short in the other. However, that is not allowed, and you will end up losing your account. Now, something else that traders are very happy with is news trading rules. Well, guess what? We do not have any rules against or guidelines around trading news events. Now, I like how they bolded this real quick. You trade news at your own risk. Now, with news, we'll have a volatility event in the market. What we don't know is it going to be a volatility event against the trader, or is it going to go in the trader's favor? And for me personally, I'd rather just be flat before any major news. Also, keep in mind, something I see highlighted right down here, micro scalping rule. Now, what this says is over 50% of your trades must be longer than 10 seconds, and 50% of your profits must come from trades that are held for 10 seconds or longer. And for me personally, guys, I do not think that's a big deal. If Tradeify is going to try to copy your trades on the back end, if you're in and out within a fraction of a second or just 2 or 3 seconds, it's going to be unrealistic that they're going to be able to copy your trades and or potentially fade a trader's trade. Now, if we come down real quick and we look at permitted trade times, I also like this about Tradeify because we are allowed to open a position at 6 p.m., However, we must be out by 5 o'clock. And it basically says all your positions must be closed by 4:59. Some prop firms will make you close out at 4 o'clock, some at 4:10, some at 4:30. I love the prop firms that allow us to trade all the way up until the 5 o'clock close. The reason for that being is during earnings seasons, we can get some wild movement after hours when there's lower liquidity in the market. And if you have a prop firm that makes you get out before the closing bell, then you have no opportunity to trade that. Now, keep in mind, when we have lower liquidity after hours and we have a high volatility environment like earnings, that extra movement we get in the market will cut both ways. When you're right, you'll be right in a bigger way. When you're wrong, well, it's going to hurt a lot quicker as well. So that's the basic rules with Tradeify, but the one rule that you're probably wondering about, Mike, how does the payouts actually work? We come right here to the payout policy. In the Lightning funded accounts, traders receive 90% of the payout amount requested. So if you request $1,000 out, you're only going to get to bring home $900. They are going to keep the other 10%. In the Lightning account, keep in mind, we have that 20% consistency rule, but you also have profit objectives that must be met before you can ever request a payout. First payout in the 50K account is going to be $3,000. Then from payout number 2 and beyond, you have to make $2,000 in between each payout cycle. Then if you look right down here in the 50K account, you can take out $2,000 for the first 3 payout cycles. The fourth payout and beyond, then the trader is eligible to request up to $2,500, assuming that trader has made that money, right? So if you're only up $100 in the account, you are not going to be able to request out $2,000 or $2,500 in that account. Also, keep in mind, there is a minimum payout amount in the Lightning funded accounts. That minimum amount is going to be $1,000, meaning you cannot take out anything less than $1,000. However, what about the growth plan real quick? If we don't look down here, the trader gets 90% of the profits, just like we saw in the Lightning funded account. However, we have that 35% consistency rule versus the 20% on payout number 1. And you can see right here, you also have to make $3,000 for the first payout. And we can see for payout number 1, you must make $3,000 of profit before you're able to actually request a payout. So if we look at how much we're actually able to request out in the payouts in the growth account, payout number 1, $1,500, payout number 2, $2,000, then $3,000 for payout number 4 and beyond. So there are limits to how much you're able to request out. However, both of these plans are very, very similar in terms of the rule. The big one that really trips up a lot of traders is going to be the consistency rule. So you got to ask yourself this question. If you're looking at which account is right, you want to ask yourself this question. Lightning funded account, do you want to pay more? Right now, you can get it for $305 with the current sale. Use code Mike. This will allow you to skip the evaluation phase. However, in the growth account, look at how much drastically different the price is. It's $83 versus $300. But with this, you have to pass an evaluation step first. Then you get moved over into a funded account. Now, the good thing I like about this account, once you do pass the evaluation, there is 0 activation fee. So let me know in the comment section down below if you guys trade with Tradeify or you're thinking about trading with Tradeify, which account type do you guys like best? Is it the growth accounts or is it the Lightning funded accounts? And I've had both of these account types for myself personally.